Hey everybody, welcome to Tales from the Tavern, episode 4. Our guest today is Aubrey Sitterson.
Ow! What's happening, man?
Hey man, I'm having a great time already because we're having some Shiner Oktoberfest.
Oktoberfest Medicine style.
This is not a pumpkin ale.
Medicine style. No sir, no siree. It's not, there's no nutmeg to be found in this motherfucker right here. It says on the label, Munich and caramel malts, along with German-grown Hallertau tradition and Hersbrucher hops. It's good though.
Hey man, it's a
little heavier than the normal Shiner Bock, I think. It's yummy.
It's real tasty.
Got a nice sweet taste to it.
I'm enjoying it. Hey, thanks for bringing this over.
Yeah, man. Thanks. Love having a beer with a friend. Nothing better.
Nothing better than that, man. Aubrey, you tell tales of fantasy in your own realm,
I do.
Don't you? You do a show called Skald.
Yes, sir. It's a sword and sorcery serial, so it's, for people who aren't super in deep on in all the fantasy stuff. Obviously, you're a fantasy fan because you listen to this here podcast. But so there's high fantasy. There's Lord of the Rings style, like epic fantasy, run around,
end of the world,
yeah, save the world kind of stuff. And then there's also lower fantasy. There's sword and sorcery, which is more about like the individuals, and it's usually a little bit grimmer and grittier and darker and kind of more mean spirited. And that's what Skald is. Skald is. It happens every week. I write and produce and perform and put up and promote a new episode every week. The thing I'm most proud of about it is each episode is between like 30 and 40 minutes long these days. I do it in one take.
And that's insane.
It's bonkers. It took me, it was really, really, like the first few months doing it, I'm like, what have I done to myself? It's got a little bit easier now because, you do anything enough and it gets easy. But yeah, no, it's still a slog because if the dog barks like 35 minutes into it, I start over. It's a bummer. I take all of the prose, like the original text that I write to then perform on the show, and then I reformat it into a Kindle ebook, and I put it up on Amazon. The first volume has been available for 3 or 4 months now, and people really like it, which I'm thrilled about. And then the second volume will have just gone up either yesterday or today when you're listening to this. It's, Amazon.
If you're on Amazon, you can search Skald.
Just search for Skald or my name, Aubrey Sitterson. You'll be able to find it. You can buy the new volume for $2.99, but the first volume until November 12th, through November 12th, which is the Thursday, November 12th, 2015. Who knows when people will be listening to this thing?
Who knows, man?
Who knows? It could be any time in the future. Through November 12th, the first volume will be completely free.
What is a Skald?
I'd love to tell you. It's a Scandinavian bard. Right? That's it. And so these are the guys who hung out in the courts of kings and jarls and just telling tales of heroic daring do and, mythological heroes and things like that. And they would do it in kind of this poetic manner and they would perform for a king. And guess what? They didn't get multiple takes for their jarl.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. That's very
it was
true.
just one go.
Yeah, just one go.
And so that's kind of the conceit of the whole
I love
thing.
that. I love that you do that. That's great, man.
Yeah.
Well, hey, man, if people want to check out Skald, they can find it on iTunes by searching Skald. You can find it on Amazon by searching Skald, or you can find it at skald.podomatic.com.
Oh, man, and it's Skald.
That's right.
Skald.
Hey, man, we got stories about underwater cities and gargoyles, but before we talk about that, man, I want to talk...
hella stories about underwater cities and gargoyles.
I know you got hella stories about gargoyles. I don't know about underwater cities. That's a little esoteric. But I got to tell you, man, because I know you have a shared interest here. I just went and saw King Diamond the other night.
Oh, cool. I forgot to ask you about that.
Yeah, I saw him at the Wiltern here in L.A. He was doing Abigail from start to finish, which is, a trend that's been happening.
Well, and that's the best King Diamond album. I'll go on a limb.
It's dope. I have listened to it before, but I haven't listened to it over and over again. I think I just listened to it in full one time. Them is the album that I really like by King Diamond.
That's a good one too.
And what's cool is that he opened up the show with the first track from them, Welcome Home.
Oh, cool.
Which starts with the word Grandma, like that, which is any album that starts like that.
Oh, did he bring Grandma out?
Yeah, Grandma was out.
When I saw him, Grandma was there. He put her in a coffin, I believe.
She was not put in a coffin this time around.
Okay.
But, I mean, your show sounds pretty dope. But although...
Yeah, my show kind of sucked, man. Listen, all respect to King Diamond, but that dude, and good on him. I saw him at Halloween last year in LA.
Yeah.
At the Forum, the Wilton, I don't fucking know. Whatever. I saw him somewhere, and he had food poisoning. So in between every song, it just ground to a halt, and he would run off stage, presumably, to shit. To just blast his ass backstage or barf or both, and then he would come back and perform again. And God bless him.
He's a pro, man.
He's a pro. He did what needed to be done, and it was Halloween, so he couldn't cancel his Halloween show. And also, he did cancel the next night's show. The next night he had a show in Vegas, and he canceled it.
Yeah.
So he must have been really suffering. But the fact of the matter is, it made for a shitty show. No pun intended.
Well, this show was awesome. He opened up with them. He opened up with a track from them. And then he did a Merciful Fate song.
Oh, which one?
Evil. And then
cool. He
did,
didn't do any Merciful Fate songs at my show.
Yeah, it was
Bummer.
super, super cool. He did just about 4 or 5 tracks that are just King Diamond or Merciful Fate. Mm-hmm. And then he did Abigail from start to finish.
Dope.
No stopping.
Awesome.
No encore, man. And that's my favorite part.
Wow, good for him.
Because it's just the album. We're going to hear the whole album. We heard the hits at the top. I hate the encore kind of like formality because it's not really, we're not really, your guys are
because they plan for it. They know.
You plan for 2 encores sometimes.
Yeah.
And
the ball's on them, right?
Yeah. And it's fun. It's
I kind of
cool.
like it for the same reason that you don't like it. Just 'cause I like the artifice of it. And here's, so tying in a couple weeks ago, so prior to you seeing that, I saw Ghost again.
Oh, cool.
So this is my 3rd time seeing Ghost. Very proud. I've seen Ghost on every album release tour that they've done. Yeah. So they did, I believe they did 2 encores. Or no, maybe they just did 1. I think they did 1, but they acknowledged the artifice of it. And they talked about, they're like, oh, listen, here's the deal. You know, and he's got this crazy Swedish accent and everything.
Yeah.
He's like, here's the deal. We're going to go off stage. You keep clapping. And it's a thing called an encore. And then we come out and we play again. It doesn't make any sense, but we'll do it anyways. Yeah. Sometimes we'll do it twice. And they did. And it was great. An encore done well is fantastic because it's like tying in another one of my great loves. It's like a good wrestling match, right?
Sure.
It is designed to build you up to a fever pitch and then bring you back down some when they go off stage. And then it's like when you're cheering for your favorite wrestler and then they are able to have a comeback. They're able to get like the comeback. Because not only do you see the guy that you like winning, but they're doing it because of something that you did. So that's kind of the beauty of the encore as well, because the encore isn't just more songs, it's more songs that you caused.
Yeah, so that is a lot of fun, and when it happens naturally or done a little bit cleaner, it's a huge payoff. You feel great. You're like, I did it. I'm going to hear more of my favorite band.
We all came together. And
I don't know this song, but it's cool. It's fine.
Whatever, they're playing still.
But yeah, no. When it's done well, it's super awesome. And I've definitely been at shows where encores have been really cool. But I really appreciated that he was just like, I like that's the end. It's over. I played songs at the beginning. I played some Merciful Fate. It's done. I had a great time. It was a great show. Yeah. But enough about my concert goings, Aubrey. We are in a tavern right now, aren't we?
Yeah, man.
And that's where we're having one of these beers. I say you brought them because you brought them over from the bar. From the
wench behind the bar
where they
at the Krusty Mollusk.
Oh, the Krusty Mollusk.
Yeah, you might have heard of it. It's one of Megatool's less reputable establishments.
Oh,
the Krusty Mollusk.
Is this a seagoers type of joint?
Well, yeah, I mean, as everybody knows, the Kingdom of Megatool was an island nation. It was a city-state more than a kingdom. But yeah, so no, practically everywhere is a seagoers tavern. This place is it's interesting though right now because it's kind of barren. There's not a whole lot of folks around.
Well, why don't we talk about Megatool, your world, a little bit?
Yeah.
Why don't we talk about what happened, man? Do you? I guess you're going to reference it in your story. I don't.
Yeah. We'll discuss it a little bit, but I mean, the thing now is everybody's kind of cleared out of this tavern, and the reason being, I mean, and people are. I mean, you might have noticed people are kind of giving us the side eye.
Yeah,
have you noticed that since
about
we came in
here? Yeah, I'm kind of worried.
I mean, and the reason is. Megatool's at war, my man.
Whoa.
Yeah, and
why did you bring me to Megatool?
Well, and the thing is, I mean, it's not here,
Oh, okay.
And that's why we're getting the side eye, because you see, if your country's at war and you see a couple of strapping young lads like us just sitting around having beers, shooting the shit, telling fun tales, well, people aren't exactly thrilled. If you're sitting in a bar in Megatool while Megatool is at war, it means one of two things. You're either a coward or a traitor.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
times are serious in Megatool.
It's getting pretty serious.
I gotta apologize. I called it Megatool. I hope nobody heard
That is not the pronunciation.
Yeah, that is not
it's a TH sound, so it's tool.
Tool.
You have to aspirate it a little bit.
I love it, man. I'm just gonna say that, man. I just want to talk about how I love that sound.
Tool.
Megatool.
Tool.
So, man, hey, we got our shiners here.
Yeah, man.
I'm having a great time.
I'm having a pretty good time. So far.
Okay. I'm sorry.
But I'm trying to set. I want to build.
Okay.
Like I don't want to start too high and then.
You know what? I think that's a great idea, man. Hey, why don't we get right into this, man? We'll start with your story on underwater cities and gargoyles.
Fucking. Are you ready right now?
Yeah. No. Yeah. I'm ready. Yeah.
Dom.
Yes, Aubrey.
Prepare yourself for the rise of Megatool.
I don't know. That seems...
No. You need to prepare yourself.
All right.
Are you prepared?
I am now, yes.
For generations, Megatool sat beneath the waves, waiting, watching, seething. At the bottom of the ocean sat Megatool, that once great, that once mighty, that once, dare I say it? That once diggity dank No, I dare not. At the bottom of the sea sat Megatool, a boil upon civilization's soft white underbelly, a festering open wound upon the face of the earth itself. It sat hidden, submerged, drowning in the glowing trench of Luminos.
Whoa.
Yeah. Damned by the actions of one man, devoured by the waves because of one cowardly, weak sack of flesh and bones, condemned to sink into those dark, swirling waters by the act of one. Daryl. See the instant classic, episode 32 of Fantasy Fiction.
A classic.
For more instant classic. Also, an instant classic of slightly more recent vintage. Episode 71 of Fantasy Fiction. The latter one isn't specifically important for this story, but it's good background information to have, nonetheless.
And a good episode.
I didn't want to say it, but I'm glad you did. I'm glad. I didn't want to be the one to say it, but he's right. It's a quite good episode. Anyway, Daryl had really screwed things up. Screwed him up big time. And as a result, Megatool had sunk beneath the waves, its proud inhabitants dragged down to the ocean floor by the fashionable yet extremely heavy stone jewelry that they wore around their necks. Fashion.
It'll get you, man.
It'll get you. They didn't swim. Do you know why they didn't swim, Dominic?
Why is that? Is it because they were too heavy? They couldn't? They never learned?
Maybe. I don't know. When Megatool sank, most of that legendary city's inhabitants were largely too busy getting laid, getting paid, or, in the case of the city's most fortunate, some combination of both.
Oh.
To notice the grim, watery tomb into which their burg plummeted. But not all of the Megatoolians were busy fulfilling the promise of the Megatoolian dream. No, alone among them, one person observed the fate that had befallen them, a powerful warlock sitting in his filthy, arcane tower. It was disgusting. Not really. It was mostly just a dust issue. The kind of warlock's tower that could really use a woman's touch. Or perhaps the touch of another warlock. Oh. Whatever. Megatool was shockingly progressive for its time. The warlock saw only one option. Only one way to save his city, to safeguard its future, to keep hope alive that one day Megatool would rise up above the waves. So he reached out, and he made a deal, a pact, an infernal arrangement with that dread elder god of the sea. And do you know the name of that dread elder god of the sea, Dominic?
Grocklin.
What? No.
No, it's
Why
not.
would it be Grockland?
I just thought it was
It's ridiculous. That's absurd. Do you care? No, his name was.
Oh,
That's
okay.
right.
It's like a cat.
That ancient warlock, that forgotten wizard, he shackled himself to. And that bastard of the depths. He granted the warlock's request. He bestowed upon the Megatoolians a set of peculiar abilities. They found themselves able to breathe of the water itself, with bodies made hale and hardy, capable of withstanding the tremendous pressure that exists at the bottom of that glowing trench of Luminos. For such a remarkably specific and complex problem, it was a shockingly elegant solution, as all the best solutions typically are.
Very true.
And it only cost that ancient, forgotten warlock one thing: the everlasting souls of his cursed descendants, a damnation that would follow the second son of every generation. And did.
Whoa.
Grim, yeah. For generation after generation. So it went. From father to unlucky second son to unlucky second son, over and over and over again. And now, the 23rd second son, the warlock born cursed into this unholy servitude, the one damned to give of himself to protect his city, the one who, in a bit of oh so delicious irony, styled himself as Daryl.
Oh, no.
Yeah. He worked tirelessly to keep up the worship, to keep up the magics that kept his city breathing beneath the waves. He worked around the clock, but took frequent breaks. Like all the residents of Megatool, he had adopted an 18-hour schedule. 6 hours of sleep, 6 hours of work, 6 hours of light activity and downtime. It was a submarine schedule designed to increase efficiency in the absence of the sun and the relentless schedule it imposes upon surface dwellers. There were books about it. Do you know how books work underwater, Dom? Me neither! But every night, without fail, they came. And each night was shockingly frequent, because freed from the circadian rhythms of the sun, they had arbitrarily assigned nighttime to come much more frequently in a well-meaning productivity play. But do you know who else was freed from the circadian rhythms of the sun? Do you know who else was set loose with their snapping jaws, gleaming teeth, and huge leathery wings? Space gargoyles. No, wait. Sea gargoyles. Sorry, they're easy to get mixed up because, fun fact, neither one needs to breathe.
Whoa, wait. Okay, yeah. No, that's totally,
Canon.
Yeah, that's canon.
The sea gargoyles attacked. Night after terrifying night, they shot through the waters, propelling themselves with wings like giant oars, but oars that moved extremely quickly. Because the gargoyles moved extremely quickly. So it only stands to reason that their oars also moved. You get it. And each time they did, the city's I skipped ahead. They swept into Megatool, swept into that drowning, dying city, night after heinous, abominable night. And each time they did, the city's numbers dwindled as its citizens were carried off screaming, howling, pleading for a quick death that would not come, and instead were carried to the underwater caves of the sea gargoyles, where they were devoured slowly, their screams echoing through the water, reverberating through the caves, and traveling through the very waves. Like some type of macabre whale song.
Oh, man.
Yeah, think of the worst whale song you can imagine.
Think about the worst waves coming in, the saddest waves.
The 23rd Warlock had known the attacks his entire life. They had taken place every night that he could remember, plus all those that he could not.
Oh.
The Megatoolians had done their best to protect their city, to protect what was theirs, their family, their property, their homes. But it did little good. And though they tried to replenish their numbers, remembering their long-standing ancestral commitment to not only getting paid, but also, significantly,
getting laid.
There it is. But truthfully, after 23 generations beneath their waves, there wasn't much motion left in their ocean. If you catch my drift.
I do.
They weren't in the mood, Dominic. They weren't interested in coitus. Intercourse.
Sex.
Fucking, Dominic. Fucking. The attacks had continued unabated for 23 long, terrible generations. Generations urged forward by the most obligatory, least spirited lovemaking imaginable. And now, their lack of procreational enthusiasm had caught up with them. The city was being run by a skeleton crew, and not a crew of actual skeletons. That would have been great, because those things, never get tired. Just get a bunch of bones and have them take care of things for eternity. The 23rd Warlock thought to himself, it had been me dealing with... I would have gotten a bunch of skeleton servants thrown into the deal. If ever we get a chance to negotiate, there will be one thing that's not up for negotiation. Do you know what it would be?
Would it be bone skeleton?
No! Who cares about the skeleton crew? If he was going to renegotiate, he knew exactly what he would ask for. For Megatool to once again rise proudly above the waves. Whoa. Night had fallen, and the 23rd Warlock knew that he had to do something, and quickly. The city could stand one more attack, one more nightly raid before what remained of the populace was wounded, killed, or worst of all, dragged off screaming by those space No, I'm sorry. I keep doing that. Sea gargoyles.
Very similar.
They're very similar.
They look pretty similar too, right?
They actually do. You know what they look like.
Well,
I don't have to describe it, do I?
No.
We all know.
I mean, I'll just say the space ones have antenna. That's it.
That's it. But then they're small. They're small antenna.
You can't even see them.
And if that were to happen, if they sustained losses at even the low side of average for a given night, the 23rd Warlock would have nothing left to defend. He would have nothing left to fight for. His line would have been cursed, been damned, been given over to that grim elder god, the bastard of the depths, for nothing. But the 23rd Warlock, he did have something to fight for. The future of Megatool.
Yeah.
As the gargoyles began their attack, the 23rd Warlock walked purposely to the stone altar kept at the center of his room. As the sounds of battle, the screams of the wounded drifted up to him in his forsaken tower, he began to move over the altar, tracing arcane sigils, the signs of that grim elder god, the runes of that awful old beast, the bastard of the depths himself. Though the Warlock's eyes were closed, his vision filled with a sight too horrible to comprehend, a vision too terrible to describe, so abhorrent as to blast the minds of those unprepared to behold a true abomination, a figure as abhorrent as it was inexplicable. The heaving, churning, boiling, ever-shifting but always recognizable bulk of Who summons? It is I. The Warlock spoke. Your servant. Daryl.
Oh, man.
As loyal as your most dedicated supplicant, though the choice to enter your thrall was not my own. Ah, yes. Daryl, you've done an excellent job with Megatool. How are things with those, space gargoyles? Sea gargoyles, actually. Ah, yes, of course. What was I thinking? I always get them mixed up. Do you know why that is? Is it because one needs to breathe? No! It is because neither one needs to breathe! The Warlock winced, choking down his pride, willing to give anything to save his city, to see it regain the prominence and might that was its destiny. Yes, that does make sense. Much better than what I was going to say. I am fortunate to bask in your overwhelming celestial wisdom. So, how is it? How is... What, my liege? The sea gargoyle situation. Are things okay? What? No, absolutely not. They're slaughtering us. Haven't you received my prayers, my requests, my entreaties? What? No. Who has time for that? Don't answer. I'll do it for you. Certainly not me. Certainly not. And speaking of time, you waste mine at this very moment. What are we even doing here? I have plans tonight. The warlock swallowed hard. I have called you forth, great, because your servant has a request. Save us. Save Megatool. Raise us up above the waves. Save us from these attacking space Oh, jeez. Now you've got me doing it. They shared a hearty laugh together, and in doing so, they grew closer to one another.
Oh.
Yeah, it's nice. When they regained their composure, silenced Daryl, and he spoke unto him. I understand your request, but surely you also understand that I cannot render my aid without something in return. Of course, that's why I'm willing to offer you. The warlock set his jaw and clenched his fists. My soul.
Whoa.
But the only response issued.
That's the full name.
Yeah, that's that's the formal. It's like the ustad.
Yeah.
The only response he issued was laughter. Very clever girl. I'm a boy. Does not subscribe to traditional notions of gender. You are indeed a very clever girl. But you offer me something that is already mine. Your soul has belonged to me since your 1, 2, carry the 6. Since your ancestor gave it to me. Gave it to me in order to save your debauched and dying race.
You didn't want to do that.
I didn't want to do it either. The 23rd Warlock's shoulders slumped as his mind filled with that grim reality, as cold and dark as the ocean depths themselves. That Megatool had fallen, truly fallen, and would never, never rise again. But as he stood, the screeches of attacking sea gargoyles filled his ears. Spoke again. Of course, there's something else that you could give me. Suddenly, Daryl's mind filled not with the sunken, abandoned city of Megatool, but with another sight of devastation. Filled Daryl's mind's eye with a vision of a realm decimated and destroyed, a once great city cast low and burnt to cinders. As the vision gave way, Daryl was once again confronted by who spoke to him softly. You will be an instrument of the tool of Megatool, if you will.
Whoa.
Yeah. Do you agree? With what remained of his city in its death throes, with Megatool hanging in the balance, with his fellow Megatoolians crying out for relief, for succor. He thought hard, but quickly. Meant to tighten the manacles that already chafed Daryl's wrists, meant to tether him to him with heavy shackles that would never release their hold. But in exchange, Daryl would have what he desired, what he craved, what he and his people needed above all else. Megatool would rise. Yes. But then again, he really hated the name Tool of Megatool. Weighing his options, he realized there were no options. There was no real choice. Just as one Daryl had cast Megatool beneath the waves, another would see his city rise, see it ascend, see it take its rightful place once again. He knew what he had decided. He knew what must happen, and he spoke. Yes, I agree.
Whoa.
Suddenly, the heinous noises that had filled Megatool were not alone. The screech of the sea gargoyles. Got it that time. The howl of the captured Megatoolians. They were still there. They continued unabated, but beneath them, something else. A shift of the earth, a scraping of stone, and suddenly Daryl felt it. Megatool rose.
Yes!
Fuck yeah. Faster and faster, the sunken, forgotten city shot up through the waters as Megatoolian and gargoyle alike were forced to grab onto the earth itself to keep from being flung out, forever lost in the swirling maelstrom of the deep. They clenched their fists upon the foundations of ancient buildings, and they clenched their eyes shut even harder as Megatool rocketed toward the surface. The city broke the surface of the waves with a crashing sound, a burst of water that exploded all around them, then came crashing down, striking the water of the sea, as well as the hard, coral-covered streets of Megatool, exposed to sunlight, to fresh air for the first time in 23 generations. The falling water splashed off the coral, which then quickly began to dry out in the harsh rays of the sun. And all around the city, the air was filled with a thick mist, a dense fog that obscured the quickening motions of that city's remaining residents. When it cleared, when the wind had chased that sluggish water vapor away, it was clear that the Megatoolians had been hard at work. They'd split into 3 shifts once again. One was, yes, of course, it's not interesting, but it is important. They were sleeping. You need a good night's rest, Dominic. But the second, they stalked through the city, taking hammer, taking mallet, taking club to the now frozen forms of the sea gargoyles, shattering those stone monsters into rubble, into gravel, into dust, laughing as they went about achieving their well-earned retribution. And the third shift? Why, the third shift was off doing one of the things Megatoolians were best at. They were getting laid. And some of that third shift, they were getting paid as well. They were prostitutes, Dominic. Megatool had risen above the waves. A full third of what remained of the city had already been heartened by their first ever exposure to sunlight, encouraged on in their amorous pursuits by the sun's warming rays. They were already busy repopulating that once great metropolis, which pleased Daryl, because if he were to fulfill his part of the bargain, if he were to give what he wanted, he would need an army. But that would come later. For now, Daryl stood upon the shores of Megatool as the waves lapped against the beach. He stood and slowly, deliberately rolled himself an exquisite doob. It was beautiful. He rolled it, he lit it with a snap of his fingers, he pressed it to his lips, and he inhaled. And do you know what it was made of, Dominic?
Some of that diggity dong, super dank.
What? No.
Black water, keep on rolling. No?
It was made of kelp.
Oh.
Kelp. That's the only thing that grew in Megatool. Kelp. It had been underwater for 23 generations, Dominic. Kelp. Kelp is all he had to smoke. So he coughed, he spat, and he grimaced as he looked out upon the realm that had shown him, the poor, unlucky world that lay beyond those purple, swirling waves, the world that still sat firmly in the bastard of the depths sights. Daryl scowled, and he gazed out at the towering pinnacle of Orkspire.
Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
Boom!
Whoa!
They're at war.
They're at war. They just rose up in the Orkspire Ocean, unbeknownst to anyone.
We'll have his due, man.
The sound of a cat forming a hairball.
We'll have his due.
We'll have his due.
You'll have it, man. That's the war. That's the war going on. That's why the crusty mollusk was so desolate.
Dude, does that mean that? Oh my god!
I don't know what it means.
This means trouble is what.
It means trouble for somebody.
I gotta say, man, my man focuses in low fantasy, not the epic tales, but what has just transpired in this room was epic.
There's some shit going down. There's some shit going up. Megatool, mostly Megatool going up. Not so much going down, just Megatool going up.
So to recap, Daryl, the 23rd of the bloodline, he agreed. He agreed to this monster, this powerful force.
He was the elder god of the depths.
The elder god of the depths.
Or the elder god of the deep, the bastard of the depths. That's excellent pronunciation.
Thank you. Just the shorthand. What he goes by online.
Yeah.
He's back, and now he's got his Megatool of Megatool.
No, just the tool. There's nothing mega about Daryl. Just the tool of Megatool.
The tool of Megatool.
Yeah.
Okay. So, wow. All right, man. All right. Well, I mean, I have a story to tell. I have a story to tell next, but I kind of want to just skip to the next episode of us doing this. Because it's on.
This was in the future. I mean...
Oh, okay.
Or it can be. I don't know.
However you want to do it, man. This is your world. As we say, man. It can be.
Listen, man, I'm angling for that crossover. That's what I'm doing over
That's what it is. Hey, man.
I want that Marvel Civil War money. That's what I want.
All right, Aubrey, are you ready for the Orc Spire tale? The tale from Orc Spire.
Yes.
About that's apparently in war.
Yes.
Not during the story. Well,
yeah. Listen, I mean, like it's like comic books, right? Like I don't know, like they fit. You figure out later how they all fit together.
You'll figure out next month's issue how it affects it.
Yeah, for sure.
So this is my tale of gargoyles and underwater cities. It's called Quest 2: Back in the Saddle.
Wait, was there? Listen, I might be showing my ignorance here. Was there a Quest 1?
There wasn't a Quest 1, but it pertains to this story, which I will give you a little preface, is a continuation of another story, but you don't have to listen to the first one.
Wait, where's the first one?
You'll find out.
Okay, fair enough.
Rain pattered against the tavern sign of the flickering flame as storm clouds rumbled throughout the night in the town called Quest. Inside the tavern, a young man with brown hair, soft facial features, and a plain red shirt stared into his beer. This adventurer's name was Chris with a K, and he was hungry.
Wait, was there an H?
No, Kris.
Oh, okay.
Chris with a K. And he was hungry, having not eaten for 7 straight years.
Shit.
Oh, did you miss Chris's last adventure in episode 1 of Tales from the Tavern? Why, you'd better go listen to it after you hear this episode. Who could have missed the adventures of Chris with a K?
That sounds dope. I'm sold.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're going to...
I don't know. I kind of want to just go home and listen to that.
Yeah, what do we bring?
Why don't we just call it here?
You come back in about 2 hours. Chris was thinking of his father's delicious pot pies back during his farm days when suddenly, "Hail to you, young adventurer," said a voice behind Chris. He turned around to find a dark green frog sitting on the table behind him. "I have traveled from the faraway underwater city of Froglantis. I hopped for 50 consecutive days to this tavern in hopes of finding a hero to be the savior of our favorite city, Froglantis."
I feel like he's taking some liberties with deciding whose people's favorite city is.
Well, it's their favorite cities. The inhabitants' favorite city is...
By our, he means other frog people?
I mean, there's probably a few people who
Are they
like...
frog people or just frogs?
They're little frogs.
Okay.
They're just frogs. They live in an underwater city.
Gotcha.
It's a weird thing.
It sounds cute.
It's fun. Some cute stuff's in this world. This all sounded a little too mighty to Chris, and so he turned back toward his mug without saying a word. And I'll give whoever can do it $20 and any candy bar from the hay station.
What?
Which is
what is a hay station?
It's what, like a gas station. You fill it up with gas.
Oh,
so
you
if you're
fill
like
up your horse with hay.
Fill up your horse with hay. Yeah,
Makes sense to me.
King size count? Asked Chris as he stood and turned back toward the frog. Yes, deal. Chris shook the frog's hand and sat at the table. There is a jewel in the mouth of a gargoyle that sits atop a powerful wizard's tower, said the frog. I shouldn't have agreed to this based solely on the rewards, Chris said to himself. Don't worry, continued the frog. The gargoyle is made of stone. Chris let out a sigh of relief. But there is a real gargoyle that thinks the stone one is in love with him. So he's kind of hanging around it all day.
That's cute, right?
Damn it. It's cute for them. Damn it, said Chris. The frog handed him a map to the tower and sent him on his way. Good luck. The magical city of Froglantis is counting on you, said the frog as he waved goodbye. Chris climbed aboard his faithful horse, Terry, and rode toward the wizard's tower in the rain. And man, did this suck rocks. You ever, walk in the rain?
Uh-huh.
I imagine that riding a horse in the rain is probably, one of the worst.
Oh,
things.
yeah, because it's all fucking going in your eyes and shit.
Yeah, you vision is probably...
Yeah, imagine riding a... Yeah, it's like... if you could imagine a motorcycle.
Whoa,
right? It's like
yeah.
a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Have you ever ridden a motorcycle?
No.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I'm frightened.
Yeah, I'm frightened. Yeah. No, yeah. Especially here in LA.
Anywhere, honestly.
Yeah. It wasn't long before the adventurer arrived, completely soaked at the tall stone tower of the wizard. Chris hopped off Terry and approached the old wooden door. A large iron door knocker of a goblin's face was mounted to the door, without a ring to knock with. This is the Tower of Spielman the Mystical, said the door knocker to Chris. Oh. It's spelled like the rapper. This tower is a magical one. The door knocker talks, and there are 3 challenges that await you.
Oh, no.
3 death-defying trials of determination and will, and after that, Spielman himself. The door knocker knocked with excitement. Chris grabbed it to avoid the unnecessary noise. Challenge 1, stairs. Challenge 2, rickety stairs. And challenge 3, rickety stairs without a railing to hold on to. Dare ye accept the trials of the tower? Fuck. The door opened itself. And Chris really appreciated all the additional information, but inside, the place was a mess. The colors of the tower's interior were once bright and beautiful, but were now faded and dust-covered. Vases were smashed. The walls had been charred from old spells. Everything had been broken in some fashion and covered in cobwebs. Chris could tell that at one time this was truly a mystical tower. But now exists...
Also spelled like the rapper?
Also spelled like the rapper, yes. But now exists a dusty cartoon outline dust shadow of its former self. Chris cautiously walked through the tower's spiraling halls and passed the castle's first trial with ease, dominating the stairs 2 at a time. Broken arrows, snapped wire, and various other trapped debris littered the ground of the second floor. Chris reached the rickety stairs and took each step with great care, determined not to fall victim to the stairs' rickety nature. Spielman was a wizard who lived alone, you see, and so he figured, why not get drunk and see what's on the old crystal ball each and every night?
Yeah, why not? Treat yourself.
I don't have a job. I don't have a boss. I don't have anybody to wake up for. The wizard was right. He had no boss, and so he had figured this thought 687 consecutive days in a row, consequently mastering the dark arts of alcoholism.
Oh, grim.
Yeah, it kind of spiraled into a thing. Yeah, it's not a happy place sometimes.
Spiraled like a set of rickety stairs.
Like the second of rickety stairs inside this tower. On his way to the next challenging staircase, Chris came upon an open door. He hugged the wall and carefully peered inside the room to find Spielman, the wizard, himself passed out in a wooden chair. His face was illuminated by the pale light of a black and white wizard program playing on his crystal ball. Spielman was old, with dark circles underneath his eyes. He had thick gray eyebrows and a long, unkempt beard. His robes were brown and dusty. Old, empty mead bottles littered the floor. Chris couldn't help but feel bad for the guy, but the young adventurer had no time for a sad music sting. He still had one challenge left to beat, the rickety staircase without a railing to hold on to, and... Oh, he has already climbed up the stairs. Okay, so the adventurer came to a short metal ladder leading to a trapdoor to the tower's roof. Chris with a K ascended the ladder and lifted the trapdoor open just a crack to see outside. Cold wind blew right into Chris's eyes, and through his tears, he saw the stone gargoyle in the shape of a goblin with a purple jewel in its mouth. Next to the gargoyle stood the living gargoyle that the frog warned of. His skin was a cold, hard granite gray, with granite eyes and a granite dick that regular pee would come out of.
That's weird.
Yeah. It's kind of how it works. I mean, it's all granite usually. But
Space and sea gargoyles are a little different in that regard.
a little different. Wait, do they pee something else? Sea gargoyles?
These don't pee.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. Where would it go? In space? I don't know. I feel like that's a... Also, I mean, if in sea gargoyles, you wouldn't be able to tell, right? They're underwater.
Well, that's, I mean...
I guess it'd be a little bit warmer.
There are ways. There are ways to know. His dick was hidden by his tiny purple shorts. He leaned against the wall. Sorry, you just took a drink of beer with us.
Wait, so does he wears purple shorts, but then he pees through the shorts all the time?
No,
I mean, pants all the time.
That's just kind of additional information. He takes his penis out and pees, but sometimes maybe he pees his pants. I don't know.
Oh, so even when he's animated, he's made of stone?
Well, he's made of stone and he's walking around.
Oh, okay.
But his pee is regular.
I thought, okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. These are specifics I feel like people
I
should
think this
know.
is good. No, this is good information to have.
So, you totally love me? Asked the gargoyle. He waited for a response. The goblin sculpture was silent. I knew it, yelled the gargoyle obnoxiously as he walked over to the sculpture and leaned his dick into it as he continued to flirt. Weird, but some people do that.
Yeah, man.
Chris knew there was no way he was
Establishing Kino is what that's called.
Oh, is that what that is? Wait, what is it?
Establishing Kino.
Establishing Kino. I know Kino as a light source.
Kino is like kinesthetics or something. It's like a pickup artist thing.
Oh, okay.
Like you touch them.
Oh,
Yeah,
weird. That's
gross.
a weird word for manipulation.
Everything
touch.
about pickup artist stuff is weird and gross.
That's gross. Chris knew there was no way he was going to defeat the living gargoyle in combat, so he had to think fast. He lifted the trapdoor open a little more and spoke out of the corner of his mouth. Hey, I heard that there's an old well outside of Fluenstown that has a crush on you. Whoa, what? Said the gargoyle, immediately turning away from the other gargoyle. Chris cracked the door open once again. I heard that well's got some big-ass bricks. Hot damn, I'm there, yelled the gargoyle, and he flew off in the direction of Fluenstown. When the coast was clear, Chris with the K emerged from the tower, grabbed the jewel from the gargoyle's mouth, tossed it in his satchel, and began to make his escape. Chris was already on his way to the second set of rickety stairs when he passed the open door again. Hey, that's my purple gem, shouted a voice. Chris turned and saw Spielman the Mystical still sitting in his chair, half awake and full pissed. You trying to steal my purple gem? Chris was frozen with fear. He had carelessly forgotten about the threat of Spielman. A powerful wizard like himself could ruin the young adventurer's life with a few whispers of magical words. My mom gave me that purple gem, and now you think you can take it from me? Said Spielman as he picked himself up. Now we're going to fight. With great difficulty, the wizard bent over and grabbed a steak knife from an old discarded dinner setting. Sword fight, he added. Chris drew his sword and watched as Spielman leaned against the wall to prevent himself from falling over. He slowly stumbled toward him. Chris couldn't help but feel bad for the wizard again, especially when he came to a bookshelf and began punching the books. That's my mom's purple gem, yelled the wizard as he sobbed and stabbed the books with his knife. After a few minutes of this, Spielman tired himself out and laid down on the ground for another nap. Chris grabbed a dusty old blanket and tucked Spielman in, then rolled him on his side just in case, and made his way.
That's how John Bonham died, man.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's why I know, and that's why
we should all know.
That's why everyone should add this
The more you
detail
know.
The more you know in terms of helping your friends,
death.
John Bonham dying like that. He was so good at what he did, and he died by that.
Yeah,
I mean, you got to keep
listen
an eye
to
out.
listen to when this is over. Listen to When the Levee Breaks.
Yeah, just
Put it
it's
on.
a great one. That album is the real fantasy one, right? It's a good one.
Yeah, there's a lot of Lord of the Rings songs on it.
It's a good one. Chris made his way out of the tower, back onto his horse named Terry, and rode through the rain toward Quest. It wasn't long before Chris was back at the flickering flame, hurrying inside to get out of the rain. The frog was still sitting at the table just chilling because this was only like a 2-hour quest, so he was just hanging around. I have returned with the purple unnamed jewel to save Froglantis, said Chris as he retrieved the jewel from his bag and handed it to the frog. The little green frog held the purple gem in his tiny hand and began to laugh a tiny laugh. Purple smoke encompassed him. The tiny laugh turned into a deep laugh, that of an adult man as the smoke dissipated, revealing a middle-aged man with long black hair and a beard in a warm purple robe sitting at the edge of the table.
Oh, shit.
It was really me, Grimple the Wizard, the whole time, announced the black-bearded wizard. What, you were a guy? Asked Chris, baffled. Why were you turned into a frog? I shot a guy, said Grimple. Whoa! With a spell! Grimple added. Oh, okay.
That's fine.
A dick exploding spell.
Jesus!
Whoa! The Froglantis thing was pretty good, though, right? Asked Grimple as he reached into his damp pocket, pulled out a 20, and handed it to Chris. Sounds like a real place to me, Grimple added as he walked out the door. What the fuck? Chris felt sick to his stomach. He had just helped a dick murderer, and he still felt bad about stealing from old Spielman. He didn't even want his king-size candy bar, and Grimple didn't even mention holding up that part of the deal before he left. Man, this sucks rocks, said Chris to himself. The end.
Wait, is Froglantis not a real place?
No, it's just made up. Well, they think about frogs is that they breathe oxygen, so there can't be an underwater city.
I guess, but I don't like. I mean,
a frog. Well, he was just a
maybe
frog.
they made a deal with.
Oh yeah, maybe. Well,
I don't know.
Now that you've established that exists,
I can't wait to come back and tell you exciting tales from the land of Froglantis.
Oh, are you
all frog tales from here on out?
It's gonna be discussions.
Fuck all this big Megatool Orc Spire war. I want to get balls deep in some Froglantis tales.
If it existed, I mean, maybe it does, but
I don't know. Anything
it
exists
sounded like Grimple
in
made
the
it
world
up.
of your imagination.
That's true, man.
It's a fair point, right?
Yeah, fair point.
Hey, what a dick.
Yeah, no, it's a bad situation.
What an asshole.
Yeah.
He shot somebody.
Yeah. Well, with a spell
on their dick.
That exploded.
That's probably my favorite part of the story.
Well, I mean, it's
my favorite part of any story is when a dick explodes. It's my favorite part of the Bible too.
Oh, that is the best part of the Bible.
Yeah, man. Judges gets weird.
Yeah. Well, Satan gets a little nasty. Starts making angel dicks explode. So you appeared on Fantasy Fiction twice, and the stories of Megatool.
You need to aspirate it slightly.
I think I got it that time. Megatool.
There it is. It's quite good.
Episodes 32 and 71 of Fantasy Fiction. And what happened with Megatool is that it sunk.
Yeah.
Is that it kind of went down.
It went down, man. Yeah. Like this big volcano erupted, and then the entire city sunk beneath the waves. Like kind of like a Atlantis, Lemuria kind of situation.
Well, it was the land of getting laid
and getting paid. It was both. Yeah,
and then everybody sipped on that diggity dank.
They got up on that diggity dank, dank. Ooh, black water, keep on rolling.
Oh, black water.
Dank, wizard weed.
Wizard weed. It's something they were really into.
They were super into it, and why wouldn't they be?
Sounds kind of like
It sounds kind of
California.
dope. It sounds a little bit like LA.
It sounds like the future of LA.
Yeah, man, a fucking volcano's gonna rise up out of nowhere. The volcano Steve.
Volcano Steve.
That's what
That's
what
right.
his name. Yeah.
Oh,
Deep
man.
cuts. Get back in that. Get back in those old episodes, man.
They're
Find some
good,
gold.
man. They're
Go
a fun
panning for
time.
gold in those old episodes.
Each and every one of them is.
You're gonna find it.
Hey, man. Thank you for bringing us to the crusted mollusk.
Crusty.
Crusty mollusk.
Crusted is across the street. And Krusty's actually was the first one, and Crusted kind of bit off their steez.
That's like the Starbucks.
Yeah, it's like Pat and Geno's.
Oh.
And like nobody really knows which one's better.
Well,
Do you have a preference? You're a Philly guy.
I prefer the one that isn't mean.
Wait, is one of them mean?
One of them put up a sign that was like, speak English or get out here. Yeah.
It wasn't a joke though?
No, it was serious. Yeah, that time. That was Geno's Steaks. Guys, don't go there.
Go to Pat's.
Go to
It's right
Pat's.
across the street. Do
Or
that one.
order from any pizza place and get a better cheesesteak.
Or don't kill yourself by what you eat.
Hey, man, if you want a good cheesesteak here in LA, I think you know where to go. I've told you before.
I think that place is Garbaggio.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't like it. What was it called?
I have some news for you. Philadelphia's garbage.
Dom said it. I didn't. I just laughed.
Well, I mean, we have-
fucking Philly's gonna mount an army and march on us.
I gotta tell you, the Philly cheesesteak is garbage food. I mean, it's trash food.
That is
any Philadelphia that will
objectively true.
that wants to debate me on it, come to LA. We'll talk about it sometime.
It's garbage
but it's
food.
great. I love trash food.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Boo's Cheesesteaks here in LA does a very good Philly style cheesesteak. I think, in my opinion. But Daryl is now our tool of Megatool.
Yeah,
I
he's
can't
running
wait
the place. He's the head warlock.
He's running.
He's the
place.
HWIC.
Head warlock in charge.
That's him.
Well, yeah, I love it. I can't wait to see what happens with it, man. It's back.
I'm stoked. I don't know who knows?
Well, there's going to be some fucking
two great civilizations going to war.
Bow's throat is about what's going to happen. You do another show, man. You do a show called Straight Shoot, don't you?
I do. You've been on it.
I have
few
been on it.
times.
Yeah, I love doing Straight Shoot because it's one of my favorite things that I don't get to do too often because not that many people I know do it, but talk wrestling.
Yeah, man. Straight Shoot's my wrestling talk show. We every Thursday we go live and we have 3 segments. One we spend talking about WWE and NXT. So kind of very mainstream wrestling stuff. And we have 2 more segments, and we use those to talk about other promotions. So TNA, Ring of Honor, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Evolve, and then also like retro stuff. Your pal, Bryce Remsburg, came on and we talked about Chikara recently.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
This week, we're going to be talking about WWE. We're going to be talking about New Japan Pro Wrestling because they just had a show this weekend. And then the third segment is we're talking about Hood Slam, which is a independent promotion up in the Bay Area. And they have like people dress up as like video game characters and they wrestle and stuff. It sounds really ridiculous. Yeah. My friend Justin Robert Young is coming on to talk about that one.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
And when can people tune into that?
It's on youtube.com/c/straight shoot or just go to aubreysitterson.com. There's links to everything I do there.
I'm pretty sure if you just search Straight Shoot on Google, that it'll
pop up. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's on. And we go live on Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern time, and then I also put up on iTunes and Stitcher and Podomatic. It'll be waiting for you on Friday morning when you get up.
So you could either tune into the live Google broadcast, which is a really fun time because you get to be a part of the chat, but you could also listen to the podcast version.
Or you can watch it on YouTube later, too.
Or you can watch it on YouTube
there as well.
Yeah. Yep. It's a pretty cool system they got with the Google Hangouts.
I dig it.
You run a great show.
I dig it. Thanks, man.
Yeah. Had a great time being on, and wrestling talk is always fun, man.
It's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorite things to yammer about. And that's kind of like the vibe I go for. One of my favorite things to do is just get all drunk in a bar and yammer at people about wrestling. It's fun. It's wide reaching and broad, and there's just a bunch of different aspects of it you can talk about. And that's kind of the vibe I try and cultivate on Straight Shoot. Just folks hanging out in a bar, yammering about wrestling, but over the internet.
Good, man.
And typically not drunk anymore. I used to do that, and I drank a little bit too much on the shows.
So you don't drink on the shows at all anymore?
I don't. I'm drinking on your show. because I don't know. I'm not. Here's the
No,
thing.
this is a great time. But this is about.
I
having
get
a good
stressed
time.
out sometimes doing the straight shoot show because it's 90 minutes and it's live and there's no redos or anything. And I've got guests and I'm trying to I have to run a show and I have to follow it and keep them through. And then once it's over, I immediately have to get to work, like pulling down the audio and posting up on iTunes and Stitcher and stuff. And so it's just easier if I stay sober until after it's over.
Gotcha. Stay
Choices.
sober till
Being an
after
adult.
it's over. I think they could use that as a slogan.
Being an adult, man. That's what it's all about.
So people can catch you every Thursday? Not
Every Thursday on Straight Shoot. Every Thursday on Straight Shoot. And after WWE pay-per-views.
Gotcha. And the next one is Survivor Series.
Survivor Series. And I've got some awesome guests lined up. I can't say who it is yet because I want to save it.
But you'll tell me afterward, right?
I will tell you afterwards.
Okay.
They're really good ones, though. It's probably one of my best panels ever.
Awesome, man.
Yeah. I will say that they are independent wrestlers. Two independent wrestlers.
Okay.
Both of them on the show on Survivor Series. I don't want to say who yet, but yeah, it's gonna be very good. And then also Skald goes up every single Tuesday morning. It'll be waiting for you. If you like what I did tonight here on Tales from the Tavern, please check out Skald. I think it'll be up your alley, man. Like it's a very different vibe. It's much more serious. It's heavy and kind of mean spirited and violent. But a lot of the storytelling techniques and stylistic touches that you might have heard on tonight's episode, I think you'll find in Skald as well.
My favorite thing about this show, man, is the variety of worlds that we are introduced to. And I feel like you really brought your tone to Tales from the Tavern here.
Well, thanks, man.
The world of Skald. What is that land called? Is it Megatool? Is it the same one? Or?
Oh, no. It's a separate thing.
It's completely separate. Yes. This is strictly.
No, there's no crossover with Megatool and Skald. Skald takes place in the Sundered Worlds. It's a series of worlds with different realms, and it starts in the story starts in the Elf realm with Maul, the one true king of men, and he's on a quest to get back to the realm of men, which he rules, and he thinks he should rule and should be seated on the throne. And so most of the story thus far follows Maul on his quest to get back home and seize his throne.
And then once again, it's not that high fantasy of the end of the world. It's that low fantasy of taking back your world.
It's that low fantasy of smashing a big old branch into somebody's skull until it cracks. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of that in Skald.
If you want to follow Tales from the Tavern,
I think people should follow. I'll go ahead and say I think people should follow.
Thanks, man. Hey, man. Thanks, man.
I do. It's pretty great.
At TFTT Pod. And you know what people can be a part of when they follow that Twitter, man? Polls like this. Which is the better montage set to this song? And the song was Blackstreet's No Diggity.
Okay. I can't think of any montages set to that song.
Well, I'm gonna give you two.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, before you list them, I can't even think of any.
I can think of 20.
Exactly 20.
The scenarios we have here are orcs doing pull-ups or elves bench pressing.
Oh.
And also everyone is wearing overalls.
I'm going to vote orcs doing pull-ups.
Okay.
Less because of orcs, because here's the thing. There's no debating the fact that elves are a sexier race than orcs. But I think there's something about pull-ups that's a little bit sexier than bench press.
You're 100% right.
Like bench press is like that's an impressive thing to do, and you get a big nice chest from it. You get those pecs, but like pull-ups, I mean, just like the way you're gonna film it with like the orcs like coming, kind of pulling themselves up into view and the sweat glistening off them. I don't know. I think orcs doing pull-ups. That's me.
And then a song kind of starts like doom 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 doom.
Yeah, I'm orcs pull-ups, man.
And then I like the way you work it, and they're doing the pull-ups. Oof, yeah, I'm kind of getting.
Do people
excited
agree
about
with
it.
me?
Yeah,
or?
people agree with you. 62% said orcs
really
doing pull-ups.
cool. I'm shocked people didn't go with elves.
38% went with elves doing.
Elves are an objectively sexier race.
They are very sexy, but orcs are bigger, I think, right?
That's fair.
Yeah, they got better.
If you're a
muscles.
muscle daddy, and that's what you're
who
into.
isn't a muscle daddy?
Who is it? 2015. Who isn't a muscle daddy?
Hey guys, I'm gonna do one next week.
Do it,
and we'll do something similar. And
do one about options. You could do one about whether people think it's more important to get laid or get paid.
You know what? I am gonna do that. I'm gonna do that poll. We're gonna find out about that.
That's my gift to you.
What's more important, getting laid or getting paid? And you know, I gotta say,
It's a toss-up.
Both are pretty important.
I'm going to have to go home and do some math
Yeah.
to figure that one out.
Not like the math that got done in your episode, though. In your
Did any
story.
math get done in my episode?
Math was abandoned. Math was thrown away.
Yeah, fuck math.
Yeah,
that's
no
how I
idea.
feel. Yeah.
Guys, a great way to support Tales from the Tavern is leaving an iTunes review. And I have one here I'm going to read. It says, fantasy, ? 3 question marks, in my neighborhood, with an exclamation point, which is outraged. But it's 5 stars, and it's by King Jordan Frederick III. So this is some high-class review, clearly. If you want to get carried away into a land of magic, weightlifting, wizards, and tales as high as giraffe nuts, then get the hell in here and get your eagle on. And then they added 5 additional star emojis. Yeah. So that's the air horns going off. That's what that stands for. Thank you so much for leaving a review. And guys, if you want to help out the show, leave a review. It may get read on the show. Who knows?
Not me.
You don't.
I don't.
I will tell you, though, so you will know.
Let me know once we go off the air.
Okay, I'll send you a text. But hey, man, I got to thank you once again for bringing us to Megatool.
Of course.
And thank you for the wonderful tale. And guys, check out Straight Shoot. Check out Skald. And before we leave, the crusty mollusk. How do people say goodbye here in Megatool? What's the way you say goodbye? What do you say farewell? How do you bid?
A hearty fuck you.
A hearty fuck you.
Yeah, it's not a nice place.
It's not a nice place. Well, a hearty fuck you, man.
A hearty fuck you to you too.
But and I mean that with the kindest of fuck.
Yeah, I could tell. If not from your tone, at least your face, your facial expression, I can tell.
What I wish is that you have a hearty fuck in the future.
Thank you.
When I say that, I hope that you have just a really fulfilling, nourishing sex sequence.
That's. I appreciate that.
Hey,
thank you.
You're welcome, man. Hey, that's my gift to you.
Hey, follow me on Twitter at Aubrey Sitterson.
At Aubrey Sitterson. You can follow at Dom Moschitti. You can figure out how to spell it.
Yeah, you do the math.
You don't want to. Sitterson, you could guess pretty easily. But until next time, man, a hearty F you.
A hearty F you.
We'll say. And thank you all for joining us in the tavern. We'll see you real soon. Have a good week. Bye-bye.